Hello students, good evening. Welcome back to our intermediate lectures in mathematics. So in a previous lecture, I have started with a new chapter on matrices. So let me have a quick recap of the topics, whatever we have discussed in our previous class, and then let's proceed on top of the discussion, whatever we have had in a previous class. So so first of all, we have learned this matrices forms a very important chapter as part of your algebra is concerned. Okay, and you will be getting 22 marks. Okay, there is a 22 marks weightage in your IPE. So this is very important chapter. And then matrices. What is a matrix? See, first of all, it is a rectangular arrangement of numbers. So whenever you place numbers in the form of a rectangle, okay, such type of arrangement, such a group of numbers, set of numbers. Till now we have dealt with in individual numbers, but here we'll be operating on a group of numbers, and that too which are in the form of a rectangular arrangement. Such set of numbers we'll be calling it as matrices. Okay, and then the way we'll sit in the classroom, see we'll be sitting in different benches, right? And benches would be placed side by side or one behind the other. So here matrix is also in a similar way. Here the horizontal arrangement, those we'll call it as the rows. We'll call these as rows of a matrix, and the vertical arrangement we'll be calling it as columns of a matrix. So if you look at this matrix, see in this, for this matrix there are two rows. Okay, this we'll call it as row 1 and this we'll call it as row 2. Similarly, if you look at this vertical arrangement, these we'll be calling it as columns. The first one we'll call it as column 1, second one we'll call it as column 2, and third one we'll call it as column 3. Now, so notation. Generally a matrix will usually show it by a capital letter such as capital A or capital B. So each entry or element is shown by a lowercase letter. See here the matrix will denote it by a capital letter, but the numbers inside, the entries inside the matrix, okay, we are saying rectangular arrangement of numbers, right? Those numbers in general will denote it by a lowercase letter with a subscript. Subscript means the number what we write below, okay, with a subscript of row comma column numbers, row comma column numbers. For example, in a previous example we have seen this, we'll call it as row 1, isn't it? And this we'll call it as row 2. Similarly, this we'll call it as column 1 and this we'll call it as column 2, and this one column 3. So this element we'll represent it by some symbolically by some A or B, whatever it is, but in lowercase letter with a subscript. What should the subscript denote? Its corresponding row number and the column number. That is, here row number is 1 and column number is 1. So you will denote it by A11. Similarly, if you look at this element A1 comma 2, here what is 1? The row number, comma 2 is the column number. Okay, students. So every entry in a matrix generally will denote it by a lowercase with a subscript, and subscript should be in such a way that it should denote its corresponding, that element's corresponding row number, comma column number. Okay, so look at this element. This belongs to second row and third column. So you will be denoting it by A in lowercase with a subscript 2 comma 3. Okay, students. Now rows and columns. So which is the row and which is the column? Rows go left to right, means they are the horizontal ones, and columns go up down, they are the vertical ones. So to remember that rows come before columns, use the word arc. See, arc, A-R-C. A is the lowercase we'll be using to denote the element, and RC, R is row number and C is column number of that corresponding element. And then let's look at simple example. Say look at this matrix B. Okay, if you clearly observe here, there are two rows, isn't it? So this is row number 1 and this is your row number 2, the one which are going left to right, and these are your columns, the up down one, column 1, column 2, and this is column 3. Okay, so now here are some simple sample entries. B11. What is B11? See, look at this. The row number is 1 and column number is 1. So clearly you could identify that is the element, okay, which is denoting the first row, first column element. So it should be 6. Similarly, B13. B13 means first row, third column. You read it as row number and column number. So first row, third column. So it is 24. Okay. And then B23. B23 means second row, third column. Second row and third column. So it will be 8. Okay, sure. And then the general notation of a matrix. See, matrix, we are saying that it is a rectangular arrangement of numbers. So when we say rectangular arrangement numbers, the number of rows and number of columns need not be equal, because in general a matrix could have any number of rows or any number of columns. Okay, so an m by n matrix is usually written as A is equal to A11, A12, so on, AM1, AM2, so on, AMN. Say, suppose this is having m rows and n columns. We'll denote it like this. So in brief, the above matrix is represented by capital A with this is the matrix notation, and then the elements will represent it by small lowercase letter with a subscript. Those subscript will be denoting the corresponding row number and the column number. So this is the notation for a general matrix. Okay. So the numbers A11, A12, etc. are known as the elements of the matrix. Aij in general, it belongs to the ith row and jth column and is called the ijth element of the matrix A. Okay, students. So let's look at simple example how to construct a matrix if we know the row number and the corresponding number. Corresponding column number. So for example, construct a 3 by 4 matrix whose elements are given by Aij is equal to 2i plus 3j. So this is a very simple example. See, here you need to construct 3 by 4 matrix. So in 3 by 4 matrix there will be 3 rows and 4 columns, right? So there are 4 columns. So total you need to construct all these 12 elements. Now how to construct these 12 elements? We know that each element is of the form A, I, J. I will be the corresponding row number and J will be the corresponding column number. But here Aij is given in terms of I and J. They have given your linear relation between I and J. So Aij you could express, they have given it as 2 times I plus 3 times J. So here look at A11. Here in A11, what is the I, the row number? It is 1. And what is the J, the column number? It is 1. So you could find A11. A11 is given by 2 times 1 plus 3 times 1. So you will be getting 5. So in this way you could solve this element. Similarly, if you want to calculate A12 here I is 1 and J is 2. But A12 is given as, in terms of I and J, 2i plus 3j. So again 2 times 1 plus 3 times 2. So you will be getting 8. So in this way, student, you could calculate all the respective elements. So just use the relation Aij is equal to 2i plus 3j. So every element, to calculate each and every element, use the corresponding row number and the column number. Okay, and each element is expressed in terms of row, its corresponding row and column number. So you will be able to evaluate this. So similarly, calculate the rest of the elements. You will be getting this matrix as your final answer. And then again, this is a similar example. Construct a 3 by 4 matrix whose elements are given by Aij is equal to half of modulus of 3i plus j. Students, here this vertical line that denotes modulus symbol. Modulus means whatever lies inside, whether it is positive or negative, it always gives you the positive number only. That is, if the number inside these verticals, it is positive, you will be getting the same number. If this is negative, then there will be a flip in sign. So you will be getting the positive number only, the result always. Okay. So here Modulus means it always returns the absolute value or the positive value. So now to construct the 3 by 4 matrix, again do as the previous case only. Construct a matrix with 3 rows and 4 columns. 3 by 4 matrix means 3 rows and 4 columns. So construct a matrix. Now for this matrix, you need to evaluate individually these elements. How do you evaluate these elements? So here they have given, express each element in terms of its corresponding row and column number. Say for example, to evaluate A11, here I is 1 and J is 1. So substitute here I is 1. Okay, I think this question is minus 3i plus j. Okay, sorry, my mistake. So I is 1 and j is 1. So evaluate this. So you will get minus 3 times of 1, that is minus 3 plus j is 1. So if you will simplify this, you will get minus 2, and modulus of minus 2, it returns only the positive value. Okay, whenever there is a negative number, still it will flip its sign. So you will be getting 2 by 2, that is 1. So in this way, student, you could calculate the each and every element. Similarly, calculate A12. A12 is half of minus 3 times 1 plus 2. Here I is 1 and j is 2, the column number. So if you will simplify, you will get a half times modulus of minus 3 plus 2. This is minus 1, but minus 1 is negative, change its sign. So you will be getting it is 1. So this will be 1 by 2. So in this way, if you will calculate all the numbers, you will be getting this as your final matrix. Please do it on yourself and verify it. We have discussed this in our previous class as well. So let me move to the next. Then order of a matrix. This is a very, very important term, very, very basic term. First of all, what is order of a matrix? A matrix, we have discussed, that is rectangular arrangement of rows and columns. So it has certain number of rows and certain number of columns, any matrix. So a matrix which has m rows and n columns, we'll say that it is a matrix of order m by n. So order, or they'll also say size of a matrix. Size of a matrix or order of a matrix. What does it mean is, matrix which has m rows and n columns, it is called a matrix of order m by n. Okay, so m is the number of rows and n is the number of columns. So if you look at this example, the order of this particular matrix, see how many rows are there? 1, 2, there are 2 rows. And how many columns are there? 1, 2, 3. So there are 2 rows and 3 columns. So we'll say that order of this matrix is 2 by 3. So order of any matrix is nothing but it is the number of rows, and see, we'll represent it by like this: row number, number of rows, and we'll represent it by symbol, into symbol or cross symbol. We'll call this as by. We'll call this symbol as by number of columns. This is how we'll address the matrix as. So what is the order of matrix means? Number of rows by number of columns. This is how we'll read. So in this example, the number of rows are 2. So 2 by, we'll call it as, but we'll show symbolically using into sign, by 3. That is the number of columns. So the matrix is just an arrangement of certain quantities. The elements of a matrix may be real or complex numbers. See these elements, here we are showing it by different real numbers, isn't it? So here even complex numbers also can take place of this. So if all the elements of a matrix are real, then we'll call this as a real matrix. And then what will be the total number of elements in a given matrix? Say suppose if the size of the matrix is m by n, how many elements will be there total? See, first of all, in each row, say suppose here, consider the same example. This is a 2 by 3 matrix. Okay, so there are 2 rows. Look at row 1. In row 1, how many elements are present? 1, 2, 3, right? In row 2, how many elements are present? Again 1, 2, 3. So means in each row, how many elements would be present? So as the number of columns. So if there are n columns, in each row there will be n elements. Okay, so in each row In each row there are n elements, isn't it? Observe this carefully. Now, in total, how many rows are there? 1, 2. Here in this example, 2 rows are there. In general, if there are m rows, and for each row, how many elements are there? N elements. So, for m rows, how many elements will be there? In total, m into n, that is mn elements. So, if the size of the matrix is m by n, then there are mn elements in total. This is a very, very important result. So, an m by n matrix has mn elements. Okay, students. So, an m by n matrix has mn elements. And then, so just now we talk about one matrix. Similarly, we could talk about several matrices as well. There are many things we can do with them. So especially like the way we have performed algebraic operations on numbers like addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. Okay. Similarly, we could do many operations on matrices as well. What are the operations which we could perform on matrices? Let's look at those in detail. So the first one among them is addition of matrices. Okay. How to add two matrices? See, to add two matrices, simply add the elements, corresponding elements with the same row number and the column number. So for example, to add these two matrices, simply add this element with this element, and this element with this element, and this element with this element. Means you will be adding the elements which sit in the same corresponding positions. See here in this matrix, this is sitting over here. So similarly, look at the same position, the element in the same position, and add those two. Similarly, add 6 with minus 9. So you could add elements only if they correspond to the same row number and the column number. So 3 plus 4 you will get 7, 8 plus 0 you will get 8, 4 plus 1 you will get 5, 6 minus 9 you will get 3. Okay, students, so these are the calculations. So in this way you could add two matrices. And then the two matrices must be of the same size. See, you can't add any two matrices. To perform addition, first of all, they should be of the same size. Say for example, say consider 2 by 2 matrix. Plus, say consider a matrix with 3 rows and 2 columns. See, we have said that addition is you should add the elements with the corresponding position. And here, but here 2 elements are left, whereas because here those elements are absent. So you can't add these two kind of matrices. So to add two matrices, first of all, the order of both the matrices should be same. The two matrices must be of the same size. That is, the rows must match in size and the columns must match in size. Example, a matrix with 3 rows and 5 columns can be added to another matrix of 3 rows and 5 columns itself. It cannot be added to a matrix with 3 rows and 4 columns. Okay. So to add two matrices, look at the orders of each matrix. Both of them should be the same. And then negative of a matrix. See, we know what is meant by negative of a number, right? So for example, what is negative of 2? We'll say minus 2. What is negative of 1? We'll say minus 1. Similarly, we could define negative of a matrix as well. So here what we'll do is, negative of a matrix means we should flip the sign of each and every element of the matrix. So here there is 2 present. So here after performing the negative operation, it will become minus 2. And here minus 4 is present. So after performing negative, it turns 4. And then here 7 is present. So after performing negative, it turns to minus 7. And here 10 is present. After performing negative, it turns minus 10. So these are the calculations. So the negative means it just flips its sign. If the entry is positive, it turns it into negative. If the entry is negative, it turns it into positive. Okay, students. And then subtracting. To subtract two matrices, subtract the numbers in the matching positions. See, the way we have added. How did we add two matrices? To add two matrices, we need to add the entries in the matching positions, right? the entries in the same row and column numbers. Similarly, to subtract, we'll be doing it only subtraction in the matching positions. That is 3846 minus 401 minus 9. Subtraction is defined as 3 minus 4, 8 minus 0, 4 minus 1 and 6 minus of minus 9. Okay, students. Hope you are getting this. So only you will be adding or subtracting with numbers with respect to the same matching position. So here are the calculations. So similar to addition, here also subtraction you could do only when the order of the size of the matrices are same. If the size of the matrices are different, then you will not be able to perform the subtraction. Okay. And subtraction you could also treat like this. So suppose if you need to subtract a matrix from the other matrix, you could write this as A plus of minus B. And you know how to find negative of B. Negative of B means you will simply flip the sign, flip each and every entry of the matrix B. So once you will get minus B, then add that to A. You know how to add two matrices. So subtraction you could make it a two-step process as well. That is, first one is the negative of a matrix, and then second step is adding those two matrices. One is the A and the other is minus B. So you could do it in any manner. Okay, students. So those are the things which we have discussed briefly in our last class. So let's continue on top of the discussion. Multiplying by a constant. We can multiply a matrix by a constant. The value 2 in this case, for example, say suppose 2 times this matrix. What do you get? See, multiplying by a matrix by a scalar number means you need to consider, say just now we have discussed negative of a matrix. Negative of a matrix means what we have done? We have multiplied by minus 1 to each and every entry of the number, isn't it? We have changed the sign of every entry. That is like multiplying by minus 1 to each and every entry of the matrix. Similarly, multiplying by a constant means you need to multiply this number with every element of the matrix. So 2 times 4 it will turn 8, and then 2 times 0 this will become 0, and then 2 times 1 this will become 2, and then 2 times minus 9 this will turn to minus 18. Okay. So multiplying a matrix by a constant or by a scalar means you need to multiply each and every element of a matrix. So this what we'll call it as scalar multiplication, because we are multiplying by a scalar number. So how to multiply matrices? See, now previously we have discussed how to multiply a scalar with a matrix, but can we multiply a matrix with another matrix? This is the question. We have learned how to add two matrices. Can we add two matrices? Yes. Is it possible always? Answer, no. When it is possible, when the size of both the matrices are same, we could add two matrices. Similarly, subtraction of matrix. Can we subtract one matrix from the other? Yes. When it is possible, is it possible always? No. So then when it is possible, when size of both the matrices are same. Okay. Now similarly, multiplication of matrix. Can we multiply two matrices? If so, how do we multiply them? Okay. What should be the condition to multiply two matrices? All those things we'll be discussing in a short while. So how to multiply matrix? See, first of all, matrix means what? It is a rectangular array of numbers. So this one has 2 rows and 3 columns. Now, and just now we have discussed how to multiply a matrix by a single number, that is a scalar. We'll be multiplying each entry of the matrix by that scalar. So we'll be getting. So this is called scalar multiplication. So multiplying a matrix by another matrix. So here to multiply a matrix by another matrix, okay, we need to do the dot product of rows and columns. I think you might have, at least by now you might have familiar with this word dot product, because you have done vectors chapter in your physics, and even vectors is going in your mathematics as well. So let me take no time in using this dot product. So but to multiply a matrix by another matrix, what we'll do is we'll be performing the dot product of rows and columns. So what does it mean by dot product of rows and columns? See, to work out the answer for the first row and first column, let me explain. So this is the matrix 1 2 3 4 5 6 and 7 8 9 10 11 12. To multiply these two matrices, we'll be performing the dot product of this, dot product of the row of the first matrix and the column of the first matrix. I mean first column of the second matrix. First row of the first matrix, first column of the second matrix. So here we'll be performing the dot product. Students, you know already. So for example, if you are given two vectors a1i plus a2j plus a3k and dot product with b1i plus b2j plus b3k, you know how to find the dot product, isn't it? So the result will be a1 b1 plus a2 b2 plus a3 b3. This is what the dot product results in, right? So similarly, to multiply matrices, we'll be performing the dot product between the rows and the columns, corresponding column numbers. Say first row, first column, first row, second column. So in that way, second row, first column, second row, second column. So in this way, we need to perform the rows, dot product between the rows of the first matrix and the columns of the second matrix. So you will be getting all the entries of the resultant. So the dot product is where we multiply matching members, then sum up. So 1 2 3 7 9 11. So if you will perform the dot product between these two, you will be getting 58. So 58 is going to be your entry, first entry. Similarly, to get the second entry, what you need to do is you will be performing the dot product between first row and the second column. Okay. So in short, let me discuss in the next slide. So we match the first members 1 and 7 and multiply them, and then likewise for the second members 2 and 9. This is what you have learned in dot product, right? You will match the corresponding I terms, coefficients, and j coefficients and k coefficients. And the third members 3 and 11, you will multiply and then sum, you will be getting 58. Okay, students. So here we are just performing the dot product of the rows and columns. So let me explain this in detail. So let's see another example. See, here it is for the first row and second column. See, just now we have calculated the entry 58. Now let's calculate this entry. So to get this entry, what you will do is perform the dot product of the first row with the second column. So that is dot product of 1 2 3 dot 8 10 12. You know how to perform dot product. Again, this will result in 8. 1 into 8 plus 2 into 10 plus 3 into 12. So you will be getting 64 if you will sum. Similarly, you could perform to get this entry, consider the second row and the first column. You will be getting this entry, dot product of 4 5 6 and 7 9 11. Similarly, to get this entry, consider the dot product of this row and then this column. So you will be getting this entry. Okay. So in this way, we will get multiplication of two matrices result. But still, there are many unanswered questions. Why are we performing multiplication in this way? Again, multiplication is a bit confusing. Can we perform any two matrices? Is there a similar condition like that sizes of the matrix should be same or something like that? See here, if you look at the size of the first matrix is 2 by 3. Whereas the size of the second matrix is, it is 3 by 2. Okay, here the sizes are different. Still we are performing multiplication. So let's look at the answers for these basic questions. So rows and columns. So to show how many rows and columns of a matrix has, we often write rows by columns, right? So this matrix is having 2 by 3, 2 rows by 3 columns, right? So now when we do multiplication, when we want to perform multiplication, the number of the columns of the first matrix, number of the columns of the first matrix must equal to number of rows of the second matrix. This is the important condition. If you want to multiply two matrices A m by n and B some n by p. See, to multiply A into B, AB is possible because the number of columns of A and number of rows of B are same. Then only AB is defined. So to multiply two matrices, one with the other, the columns of the first matrix should be equal to the rows of the second. Number of columns of the first matrix must be equal to number of rows of the second matrix, and the result will have the same number of rows as the first matrix and the same number of columns as the second matrix. These are very important condition. So if the number of columns of the first matrix match with the number of rows of the second matrix, you could perform multiplication, and the result will be of the order, see, the number of rows of the first matrix and the number of columns of the second matrix. So this is how you will be getting the order of the resultant. So let's look at the previous example once again. See students, here you are able to perform multiplication between these two matrices. Here the condition what you should observe is, see, the number of columns of the first matrix are 3 and the number of rows of the second matrix are 3. So because both are equal, so we are able to perform multiplication between these two. So to multiply two matrices, the columns of the first one should match with the number of rows of the second one. Then only you could perform. And then what would be the resultant order? Resultant size of the matrix means the resultant size would be, it would be equal to the number of the rows of the first matrix and the number of columns of the second matrix. See, these two would be matching and you will be getting the extreme ones, 2 the rows of the first matrix and 2 the columns of the second matrix. Okay students. So similarly, let me take another example. Say suppose if you are having, say, A order of 3 by 4 and say B which is order of 4 by 1. Now say you want to multiply matrix A with B. Is it possible? Or I will not use into symbol, AB. To multiply two matrices, first of all you need to look at the sizes of their matrices. Can you multiply any two matrices? The answer is no. Now to multiply two matrices, number of columns of A. What are the number of columns of A? 4. Number of columns of rows of A, rows of B, they are 4. So these two are equal, right? So hence multiplication is possible. Only if the columns of this and rows of the second matrix they are equal, then only you could multiply two matrices. So if you could multiply them, then C would be of order the number of rows of the A, number of rows of the first matrix and number of columns of the second matrix. See, these two will be matching. You could get rid of them in the final order, and whatever the extreme numbers, the 3, the row number for A and the column number for B, this is how you will get the order. Okay students. So anyway, we will look at some more examples and you will understand better. So see, let's multiply this with this. See, what is the order of this matrix? How many rows are there? 1 row. How many columns are there? 1, 2, 3. So there are 3 columns. So the size of this matrix is 1 by 3. And look at the second one. 13, 9, 7, 15, 8, 7, 4, 6, 6, 4, 0, 3. How many rows are there? 1, 2, 3. How many columns are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. So the size of this is 3 by 4. See, can you multiply these two matrices? Yes, because the columns of the first one matches with the rows of the second one. So hence you could multiply these two matrices and the relative order would be 1 by 4. See, look at the extremes. So you should be getting 1 by 4. Now How to evaluate? See, put directly by looking at the respective sizes. 1 by 4 means what? 1 row, 4 columns. Means there should be column 1, column 2, column 3, column 4. Okay, students. Now, how to get these elements? To get these elements, what you will do is, you need to perform the dot product. Dot product between the rows of the first matrix and the columns of the second matrix. So now look at the rows of the first matrix. So there is only one row. And look at the columns of the second matrix. There are 4 columns, right? So perform the dot product between each column with the row of the first matrix and the column of the second matrix. So the first one will be 3, 4, 2, dot product with 13, 8, 6. How much you will get? 3 times 13 plus 4 times 8 plus 2 times 6. So if you will simplify, you will get 39 plus 32, which is 71 plus 12. This is 83. So you have got this answer, right? Similarly, to get the next entry, what you will do is perform the dot product between the first row and the second column. See again, how do you get to know where, between which row and which column you will be performing the dot operation? Students, look at this. Here, once you get to know the order, that is 1 by 4. 1 by 4 means what? You will have a matrix with 1 by 4. 1 row, 4 columns. Means you will be having 4 elements. A11, A12, A13, A14. Isn't it? So A11, A12, A13, A14. Now, to get A11, what you will do is perform the dot product between the first row and the first column. First row of the first matrix and the first column of the second matrix. To get A14, what you will do is perform the dot product between the first row of the first matrix and fourth column of the second matrix. So in this way you could identify between what element you need to perform the dot product. Anyway, once you will do enough examples, you will get to know this easily. Don't get confused. So in this example, we have multiplied a 1 by 3 matrix with a 3 by 4 matrix. Note the 3's. They are same. That is the reason we are able to perform the multiplication. And the result was 1 by 4 matrix. These 3's will get squeezed and will be left with 1 by 4 matrix. So in general, to multiply an m by n matrix by an n by p matrix, the n's must be the same. Okay, if they are same, then you could squeeze them and you will be left with m by p matrix. So m by n multiplied by n by p, it will result in a m by p matrix. This is a very important rule for multiplication, guys. Okay, so only if this is only if n's are matched, then only you could perform the multiplication. Okay, so the basic rules of algebraic operation between matrices, when you could perform addition or subtraction, means the sizes should be same. That is, m should match with m and n should match with n. Similarly, how could you perform multiplication? Means you should make sure that the number of columns of the first matrix should be equal to number of rows of the second matrix. Okay, students. So let me continue with the next topic. So multiplying a 1 by 3 by a 3 by 1 gets a 1 by 1 result. So look at the 1 by 3 means 1 row and 3 columns, and 3 by 1 means 3 rows and 1 column matrix. So if you will perform this, see the 3's, they are matching and they will get squeezed. So you will be left with 1 by 1 matrix. So that is a single number, and to get that number, what you will be doing is just find the dot product between this row and the column. So 1 times 4 plus 2 times 5 plus 3 times 6, you will be getting 32. Okay, students. So let's look at another example by multiplying a 3 by 1 by a 1 by 3. 3 by 1, 3 rows, 1 column, and 1 by 3. That is 1 row and 3 columns. Can you multiply these two? Yes, because ones are matching, and you will get a resultant 3 by 3 matrix. And how to find the entries of those? Find the corresponding dot products 4 times 1 and then 4 times 2 and then 4 times 3 and then 5 times 1, 5 times 2, 5 times 3, okay, 6 times 1. Again it is the same thing. You will be performing the dot product between the corresponding rows and the columns of the second matrix, okay. And then guys, see, when it comes to numbers, a real number system, there is a unique number which when multiplied by any number it results in the same number. So for example, can you tell me one number in a real number system such that when you multiply this number b with any number, it will give you the same number a itself? When you multiply b with any number, it will result in the same number a. So this b is nothing but 1. So this b will call it as the identity, multiplicative identity, isn't it? Multiplicative identity. Similarly, even there is such matrix when it comes to algebraic operation matrices. That is, when you multiply a matrix with a certain matrix, it will result in the same matrix. Means it plays the rows of 1. That matrix we'll call it as identity matrix, and that it is given by all ones in the diagonal position, okay, and rest elements are zeros. See, first of all, identity matrix, this operation is defined only for square matrices. What is square matrix means? A matrix which is having same number of rows and columns. I'll be discussing these definitions in detail in separate topic. So square matrix means same number of rows and columns, and then it can be any order, size doesn't matter. It could be 2 by 2, 3 by 3, 100 by 100, 1000 by 1000, okay. Because nowadays in industry or in Google or in any search engine optimization, okay, you will be dealing with, you should be in a position to handle 10,000 by 10,000 ordered matrix as well, okay. In fact, I am working on such orders. So there, even the size could grow, okay, as time progresses, because nowadays the entire machinery of machine learning, artificial intelligence, they require ability to deal with the large size matrices. So anyway, so identity means diagonal element should be 1 and the rest element should be 0. Just I am trying to introduce this special matrix over here. When we multiply this I to any other matrix, okay, say any other square matrix itself, so then you will be getting the same matrix. So this plays the roles of the multiplicative identity as 1 in numbers. Here I plays this role, okay students. And then, okay, this bit of stuff is very, very important. Here order of multiplication. In arithmetic we are used to multiply two numbers. 3 times 5 is equal to 5 times 3, or 2 times 3 is equal to 3 times 2. We have seen this, okay. This property we'll call it as commutative. Whenever you will see a times b is equal to b times a, we'll call this as commutative property. But this is not generally true for matrices. That is, when you multiply two matrices AB and BA, they need not be equal, students. AB need not be equal to BA. Okay. Actually, this is the property which has been observed by Heisenberg when he's through his experiments. Okay, he came up with this famous uncertainty principle, right? So while he was working on this, he came across this stuff, and he has shown it to Einstein as well for his comments, and so developed the matrix theory in this 20th century so much. Or else earlier it hasn't been developed so much. So you could say matrix development in the 20th century is especially because of Heisenberg. And why the interest arose for him is he has seen such peculiarity that in numbers we can see that 3 times 5 is 5 times 3, but he has observed this peculiarity that AB is not equal to BA. Okay. So when we change the order of multiplication, the answer is usually different. So for example, 1 2 3 4 2 0 1 2. Let's consider two matrices. These are of 2 by 2 orders, so it is well defined the order 2 2 they are matching, so you will be getting 2 by 2 matrix. The same over here. Okay, but if you multiply, if you find the dot products and you will find the numbers, see 1 2 2 1, 1 times 2 plus 2 times 1, and then 1 2 0 2, 1 times 0 plus 2 times 2, and then similarly 3 4 2 1, 3 times 2 plus 4 times 1, 3 4 0 2, 3 times 0 plus 4 times 2, you will be getting this matrix. Similarly, perform the multiplication between, by reversing the order, you will be getting this. So you could observe one thing, these two are not matching. So in matrices, multiplication need not be commutative, that is AB need not be equal to BA. Okay, it could be equal at times, but it is not necessary all the time. Okay, so order of multiplication is very, very important. Whereas if you consider multiplication with identity matrix, what happens? Say suppose one of the matrix is I. When you multiply a matrix with I, it results in the same matrix. So then it is commutative. Means commutative property is observed for only few examples. It is not observed by default. Okay, students. So order of multiplication is very important because multiplication is of matrices is not commutative. Okay, students. So, and then another important concept, to transpose a matrix. See, there is a concept of transposing. Transposing, there is also a synonymous word for this, interchanging. Transposing or interchanging. Interchanging of what row? What means? Interchanging of rows and columns. Rows and columns. So they will ask you to transpose a matrix, means they want you to interchange the rows with columns and columns with rows of that matrix. That is, say T will denote the operation transpose by either T or by a colon symbol, okay, single quote. So in both ways we will be defining the transpose symbol. Now what does transpose means? Interchange. Say for example, this row is there. Okay, this row, what you will do is make it column. That is 642. You make it as 6424. And then 1 minus 9 8 is there. Again, make it a column. So you will be getting 1 minus 9 8. So this you will call it as transpose of a matrix. Okay, students. So 6 4 24 1 minus 9 8. So what does transposing means? Interchanging rows with columns and columns with rows. Say again, say let us find the transpose of this. So what you will do transpose? Interchange rows with columns and columns with rows. So this row will become 6 1. Just bring it down. 4 minus 9. This will become and then 24 8. Okay, students. So in this way we could perform transposing. Transposing means interchanging rows. See here, this column has become the row. This, so first column becomes first row, second column becomes the second row. In that way, interchanging rows and columns. So in general, if there is a matrix A of size m by n, okay, m by n, this its transpose will be a matrix of order n by m. Why? Because in the first matrix, the number of rows they are becoming the number of columns, and the number of rows of the columns of the first are becoming number of rows. So they are interchanging, right? So the order will be flipped. M by n will become n by m. Okay, students. So, okay, students. With this, I will wind up our today's lecture, and we'll continue our discussion in our next lecture with many more examples related to the topics whatever we have discussed today. Okay guys, thank you.